All right, everybody, look over your diplomatic papers and check your pictures, 'cause it's Monday and we're back. Welcome to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well. So over the weekend, the Daily Mail put out a story with Casey Anthony, an exclusive interview, and she's saying, "We making a movie, baby." But before we get into the absurdity of making a B movie about getting away with killing your daughter, let's go back a little bit and just get into the Casey Anthony mood. Most of you remember, but if not, Casey Anthony was raising her 2-year-old daughter. I think she was 21 or 22 when she, at the point of when it all went down. But so she's raising this 2-year-old, and her parents, who you can see a lot of interviews and stuff at this point, Casey Anthony's parents, and they seem like good people. They just have been ripped through hell by their daughter, Casey. But they do seem like good people, and they loved their granddaughter and loved helping raise her and watching her and the whole 9 yards. And so picture really hits home for me to picture. So picture Casey Anthony's mom, the grandma. And she's very used to watching Casey at night from like 5 p.m. for a few hours. And then Casey says, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to bring Kaylee, the daughter, I'm going to bring her on a work trip for a week. So you won't see her for a week." And the grandma's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then that week ends, and she goes, "Oh, my car." Casey goes, "My car is broken, and so it'll be a week before you see Kaylee again. I got to get my car fixed, Ugh. And then after that week, it was something else, like another week. "Oh, yeah, you're not going to see the..." And so the grandma, who misses her little adorable grandchild, is like, "What?" And so after a month of just always like, "Oh, dang, not this week. We'll be back. The car, the thing, my jobs." It's brutal. So after a month of every time the grandma talks to Casey, she's like, "Can I talk to Kaylee? What is going on?" And it's like, "No, we can't. I'm busy. My job. The work week." And then finally, somehow, the grandparents, Casey's mom and dad, figure out that she's not out of town and that she's at her new boyfriend's house, Tony. Hello, Tony. So they go over to Tony's house because they're just like, "We want to see Kaylee. It's been a month. She's adorable. We want to see her." And so they get to Tony's apartment or something, and they open the door, and I think they're just smoking weed, and they were like, where is Kaylee at? We haven't seen her. And Casey's like, "Oh, she's at the nanny's." And the nanny's name turned out that it was totally fabricated by Casey Anthony, was Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. That's my favorite person that's been made up by one of these people we've gone over. Zenaida Fernandez would have been fine, but why not add Gonzalez? So Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez has her. So they're like, "All right, well, let's go find Zenaida. She was hanging out with Schmida." That's the saddest part of this whole thing. But anyway, they try to go find Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, and she doesn't exist. So then they call the cops. The grandma calls the cops, Casey's mom, and is like, "Yeah, my granddaughter's been missing for 31 days. And the dispatcher's like, "Have you called it in yet?" And she's like, "I'm trying to do it right now, ma'am." You could tell she's in a really stressed out mood. And then finally, at some point, either in that time when she called or in the next couple days, the grandma gives Casey the the phone while she's on with 911 being like, it's been 31 days. Excuse me. And so Casey gets on and she's like, yes, my daughter has been missing for 31 days. And the dispatcher goes, well, why haven't you called it in yet? It's been 31. Why didn't you call it in 31 days ago? And her answer is amazing. She goes, I've been looking for her, and I've been using other resources to find her. Or what is it exactly? Because it's just great. I've been looking for her, and I've gone through other resources to try to find her. I'm sorry, but I've used other resources. I know the police are good, okay? I know you guys have detectives and guns and cars and pepper spray and shirts with badges, but I've been using other resources, mainly just not doing anything and hanging out with Tony. But they say hanging out with Tony could be something, all right? I do understand that you guys have a lot of practice and resources in finding missing people, but I've been using other resources, okay? There's you guys, and then there's my other resources, and I figured I would exhaust my other resources before I called you, all right? Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, the best. Okay, so then the policemen obviously come to Casey, and they're like, all right, we need to find Zenaida Fernandez-Gonzalez, and we need to go to your work, all these things you're doing. Well, she didn't have any jobs, if you remember. She said she worked at Universal Studios, and they go to Universal Studios, and they're like, all right, let's walk to your office. And she goes, okay, right this way. And she goes in, and they're like, where's your office? And she's like, it's over here. And then they go, all right, we're over here. Where is it? And she's like, oh, it's down this hall. And then they go down the hall, and they're like, where is it? And she goes, oh, I actually don't work here. Sorry. And they're like, all right, well, you're arrested. And so she gets arrested. And then, if you remember, there's amazing jailhouse phone conversations with her and her family. And it's just crazy because her family will be like, she's talking to her mom, and they'll be like, Casey, where is Kaylee? Where is this nanny? And she'll just be like, Mom, it's not safe for me to tell you right now. And they're like, why? Just don't even worry about our safety. You gotta just tell us. Like, we want Kaylee back. Do you know where she is? And she's like, that's all I can say at this time. And she always has these like vague, like almost like it's a movie, like a Steven Seagal movie, like, I've already said too much. And so on these phone calls, you can tell the family's already over. They just know she's lying, and they're already over talking to her. And so there's there's one point where she's like talking to her mom, and she's like, Casey's like, I saw live on the news that that everyone's at the house, and I saw your little cameo on the news, Mom. And the mom's like, which one? I'm just trying to say, like, get information out. And Casey's like, you said that you don't know my involvement in this? And the mom's like, Casey, come on, I don't know your involvement. And she's like, no, you know my involvement in this. I had nothing. And the mom's just like, oh, God. And then Casey's friend gets on the phone, and she's like, Casey's just like, give me Tony's phone number. I just want to talk to Tony. All you guys are just, because they're asking her absurd questions like, do you know where Casey is? What happened? And she's like, oh, God, this is awful. You guys are just like asking me about Casey or Kaylee. That's it. It's like, it's getting old. And her friend's like, Casey, if something happened to Kaylee, I'm going to die, okay? We have to find her. I'm just going to die. And Casey goes, "Oh my God, huge waste. Calling you guys was a huge waste." And that right there, that phrase, huge waste, kind of just boils down this whole story. Just, yeah, huge waste, Casey. All right, so then the trial. Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. The trial was insane, and her defense, I'm just going to speed through this because I want to get to the movie. Her defense was that Kaylee drowned in the pool, and also that her dad touched her at night when she was 8. Out of the blue, they were just like, her dad molested her. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Even her dad was like, wait, what? And her lawyer was like, sorry, Dad, you got to take this one for the team. He molested her. So they went with she accidentally drowned and her dad touched her at night. Defense, she gets off, sleazy lawyered herself right out of it. Okay, so 11 years go by. And she's been living at the private investigators that worked for her defense team, also worked for OJ's defense. She's been living at his house. God knows what she has to do to live there. But she's living at this PI's house, just not really doing much. And then she popped up in the news a couple months ago being like, you know what? I feel like I've paid I feel like I've just sat aside long enough. Okay, I've had a photography company, but no one wanted me to take their pictures because I killed my daughter. That's what everyone thinks. And I feel like I've paid long enough. So you know what? I'm going out to the bars again. There was a news story where her friend was like, yeah, I've been talking to Casey, and she said that she is going to the bars again, and she doesn't care. And I feel like everyone is just like, all right, no one cares if you go to the bars, Casey. I'm sure that's a real fulfilling thing to do, is just head back to the bar scene after motherhood didn't pan out. I feel like it's one of those things you get to the bar and the first couple drinks, you're like, woo, I'm back, baby. Just singing Don't Stop Believing at the top of your lungs. But then after 4 or 5 drinks, she's just going to be sitting at the end of the bar. And her face is going to go old and sad, and she's going to be staring at the bar being like, I ruined everything. So she's hitting the bar. Watch out, Florida. Casey's hitting the bar scene again. And I thought it was funny, too, to come out into the press and be like, you know what, everybody? I'm back. And it wasn't like I'm starting a charity, or it wasn't like I'm traveling the world, or it wasn't, I'm just doing this project. It was, you guys, I have an announcement. I'm going to go drinking again. Goodbye. So she's hitting the bars again. And then this weekend, Daily Mail comes out with a story that she's making a movie, baby. And the movie is called As I Was Told. And it's the reason it's called As I Was Told, I think the big reveal in this one is that she was just doing as she was told. And there's sort of a hint of, in this new interview, it feels like she's playing a little bit of the woman victim. Is like, I was just doing as I was told. And then in one part, she was like, the reason that I never cried when my daughter was missing and was dead is because I was taught as a little girl not to be sad. It's like, we kind of know your parents at this point, Casey, and I don't really see them teaching you that it's not okay to be sad, all right? I don't know. You might just have to own that one. And so this movie, she says it's, or I'll just read some of this is straight from her to Daily Mail. It says, it will make it clear that I had no part in Kaylee's death as far as how she died. It will show the fact that I did not report it right away. But it's like, reality showed that. You actually didn't report it right away. We don't need a movie for that one. It will show the tears and the turmoil that I truly went through and the anxiety and hardship after I was released when I actually had time to mourn. Yeah, well, I'm sure it was tough. That's sort of how that thing goes. Through it all, I never once thought of suicide! Exclamation point. I'm stronger than that. That is a coward's way out, and it is a sign of guilt to me. Regardless of what the media has depicted of me, I am not a monster. I just don't show sadness, a thing that was taught to me as a little girl. Shut up. You're not allowed to be sad. You hear me? No sadness. I suffer on the inside. I bet that's true. I learned to make peace and put off a smile to cover the sadness. Sweet. All right, so then this movie, as I was told, I think the big reveal in it is that she comes home and she sees Kaylee's wet, lifeless body from the accident in the pool. Not her fault. But then there's a man there that says, keep living your normal life. I'll take care of it. So who would be this man? Let's just go with her on this. Who would be this man? It would have to be a man that like her parents or somebody hired, right? So she's still putting it all on, I guess, her dad or her parents because she just got home. I got home being a good mom. I'm a good mom. I got home and she was drowned, and then a secret agent dude that we have no idea where he came from said, keep living your normal life. Keep partying. Get a tattoo on your back that says Bella Vita. In that 31 days that Kaylee was missing, she gets a Bella Vita, which means good life. And in this article, she's like, I don't even know why people think they can spin that all they want, but they can spin that all they want, but I wanted to get that tattoo for a while, and I got it. And so she says that she gets home, and there's some guy that's like, I'll take care of it. So she just keeps living her party life. And then later in describing the movie, this is just insane. She goes, there will be sex scenes, my character with different men, mainly sexual. I feel like sex scenes are usually mainly sexual. My character with different men, mainly sexual. It will show partying, drinking days leading up to my pregnancy. It's all confusing. Then the day I conceive, ... Moving forward from that. Move over, Tarantino. We got Anthony in town. There will be sex scenes? Is this just going to be like a corny, low-quality B porn movie that sort of describes briefly that she's innocent from killing her daughter? It's like, I will be banged by many actors, and then I will be shown to be innocent. As I was told, this summer, this summer, Casey Anthony, is in many sex scenes, with different men, mainly sexual. It will show partying, drinking, leading up to the pregnancy. It's all confusing. This summer, then the day I conceive. Moving forward from there. As I was told, in theaters near you. She also said that it's going to be low grade, nowhere near Paramount. And here's the thing. I've been around showbiz for a while now, and I've been in a lot of web series, and it's very expensive to make something look good and not look just rink-a-dink piece of shit. Like to film say you want to film your own comedy special. I want to say I have an hour of material that I love. I have a venue to hire a camera crew. I have people that want to show up. To hire a camera crew just to film me doing stand-up and not make it look really cheesy and horrible is probably around $100,000. Even spending like $30,000 to $50,000, it's gonna look like a school project. And so that's why most comedians have to wait and for like Netflix or HBO to come in, because they don't want it to look awful. A comedian like Bill Burr can film it on his own because he's got the money to do it. But most, I remember saying to an older comedian when I first got to New York, like, I think I'll just try to like save up 10 grand and film my own special. And he was like, no, it's like, that's a good idea to just like do it yourself, but you can't make it look good. It takes a lot to make a movie look like a real movie. And this is a first-time filmmaking production company in North Carolina. And they're using amateur theater actors from a theater company that they own. I mean, amateur theater actors, it's going to be unimaginably bad, you guys. It is going to be horrible. Well, first, I doubt it's going to get made. It takes a lot of money and a lot of budgeting and a lot of things to actually finish a movie. So my prediction is there's no way this is actually going to get made. But if it does, I will be there opening night because I cannot wait. Amateur theater companies are violently poor, and God knows what this film production company thinks they're going to get out of it. Probably just publicity. And then she goes on to say, like, I don't care how people take this movie. I just want my story to be out there. It's like, all right, I hope it is. I hope it goes out there. Let me see if I got anything else. I think that's it. It said it's going to come out in the next year or so, but like I said, I doubt it will. But if it does, I will be there and I will do an episode on it because I love me a bad B movie, especially one with many sex scenes, mainly sexual, and then ones that shed light on a murder case. Casey, you're the worst. All right, everybody. CrimeCon. I'm leaving Friday. I'm excited for it. If you love the channel, think about supporting it. There's a Patreon link in the description. Also, we're wrapping up the coffee mugs. There's a handful left. If you want to get one, order one up. And just have a good day, everyone. Why? Stiving why? True Crime Loser out.